Good morning, children. Today's topic is summary writing and report writing, and it is meant for class 10. Now, children, we are meeting after the vacation, and we are to study these two topics seriously. Now, a summary is a restatement. A statement was given by one writer, and again, it is a restatement of someone else's words, and you present it in your own words. Now, the main information of the writer is to be expressed in your own words. The main argument of another writer is to be written. A summary is a condensed version, a brief expression of the original passage. So, children, you have to understand it in a nice manner. Now, you are asked how to write the summary. What will be the length of the summary? Now, it has no fixed length. You can read a passage and you can write the summary in your limited words. Now, in the examination, you are asked to write the summary in 60 words. Such a passage is given to you so that you can write the summary within that word. Now, within that limitation. Now, you can write the summary, but usually a summary is to be written half of the passage, or 1/3 of the passage, or a quarter of the passage, or 1/10 of the passage. It has varied length, and you can have your own choice. There is no such restriction. But for the exam point of view, you have to write within 60 words. Now, in the past, there was précis writing. There was no summary writing. Children were asked to write a précis of the passage, 1/3. That was 1/3. Children had to write the summary, the précis, in 1/3 of the original passage. That was a rigid form of summary writing. Now, we have come down to a very simplified form. Now we can express ourselves in our own way. There is no such limitation. But for the exam point of view, you have to write with 60 words. Now, I will be presenting two passages for you, and you have to read those passages from the screen. And then you will see how a summary is to be written from that particular passage. Now, let us go for the passage, the first passage. Yes, sir, first passage. First passage. Now, you see, when you just read the name Florence, you remember who is Florence. Florence had all that a young girl of her class could desire: beautiful clothes, frequent parties, and visit to the theatre, tours of the great cities of Europe, friends at court. All these were here. She lacked nothing, but Florence grew up to be different from all other young women of her class. They cared for a comfortable home, fashionable clothes, parties, theatres, and all the things. Second page. She soon found dull. Her own passion was nursing. She longed to become what all her friends most scorned, didn't like: a nurse. Even when she was a child, her sole ambition was to be a nurse. Her favorite game was to pretend that she was a nurse, and to treat her dolls as per patients. When her sister pulled the dolls to pieces, it delighted Florence to bandage and nurse them. She knew that her mission was to be nurse, and a nurse she was determined to be. So she renounced all thoughts of marriage and a happy home. Her father was shocked. Her mother was in tears. But Florence was resolved, and she had her way. Now you have read the passage. I have read it for you. Now, after reading the passage, an idea comes to your mind that it is a story of Florence. The passage deals with a life sketch, a story. So, children, you are to read the text carefully, skim the text, divide it into sections, and you find the important words which are to be taken, to be given importance. Try to know what is the paragraph is about. And during your reading, you have to think differently. There is a phrase collapse list. Try to think of a word for the whole list. Now, for certain words, you are to find out one word that you are to do. And suppose in a passage you have, that is not there in this passage, I am talking about another passage. Suppose in a passage there is ice skating, skiing, all these things are there, so you can name it winter sports, like that. Now while reading, you are trying to get the idea which is contained there in the passage. Now you find some words whose meanings you do not know, but don't look up the words in the dictionary. Try to guess the meaning from the context. That is the way you can read and understand, by guessing the meaning. Try to understand the whole sequence of the argument which is given there. Now, after this, you go for the second reading. This will be an active reading, and during this period, you underline the topic sentence. Sometimes the topic sentence comes in the beginning of the paragraph. Sometimes you can find in any of the sentences, the topic sentence you can find. But don't copy the sentence, but the idea you can have in your own words. Now gather information from each sentence of the passage. Here you are doing the whole work of note making, and you are collecting key information, cheap informations in phrases, in sentences, one after another. Now, long sentences are to be made shorter. While doing the note making, you are to omit something which you think it is irrelevant. Now, what are the things you have to omit while reading the passage? Now, you are to omit, you are to leave, you are to omit adjectives and adjectival expressions. Now, examples you are to omit quotations, information in brackets, repetition you are to omit figures of speech, you are to omit statistics, percentage, that is if it is given there. You have to omit unnecessary details. Now, direct speech, if it is there, it is to be made indirect. Now, children, I gave you a passage that is about Florence Nightingale, and it is about the story of a girl. Now, you read the passage. I'll again present the passage before you on the screen. The first passage, please. Now, you read the passage again. Florence had all that a young girl of her class could desire: beautiful clothes, frequent parties, and visit to the theatre. Tours of the great cities of Europe, friends at court, all these were hers. She lacked nothing, but Florence grew up to be different from all other young women of her class. They cared for a comfortable home, fashionable clothes, parties, theatres, and all the things. She soon found dull. Her own passion was nursing. Just you go on reading like this. You have completed the second reading. And how to get to the facts. Now, see, you have to select the words and go for simple sentences. Now, you have to make notes. You are collecting ideas. And then Florence Nightingale had beautiful clothes, friends, and all amenities of life. Now you see, she soon found dull. Her own passion was nursing. Yes, come back to the first paragraph, sir. Yes. Florence had all that a young girl of her class could desire. You see, beautiful clothes, frequent parties, and visit to the theatre, tours of the great cities of Europe, friends at court. All these were hers. Now you see, for that particular expression, you could come down to Florence Nightingale had beautiful clothes, friends, and all amenities of life. In one sentence, one simple sentence you could express. Then like this you can come down, other young women of her age care for fashionable clothes, comfort, and luxury. Florence soon found these things dull. She longed to be a nurse. Simple sentences. I am collecting simple sentences from the facts. Her favorite game was to treat her broken dolls as her patients. She renounced something. That is also given there. She renounced something. Or what did she renounce? All thoughts of marriage, happy home. And what about her father? That is also given there. Her father was grieved, shocked. You see, her father was shocked and mother was in tears. Her parents were in grief, you can express. And she promised to be a nurse. Now, so you have come down to certain sentences, choosing some words, collecting some words from the notes you have made. Now, so children, you have to use simple language in most of the cases, and simple present tense you can use. Now, but here you have to, because it is a story, you have to use past tense, simple past. But I'll present you another passage where you will find it is about something else, and there you have to write in present tense, but here you have to write in past tense. Now, because it is a story, you have to write in past tense. In your writing, you should write some transition words. You have to select some words which are necessary for linking the sentences, like thus, then, however, moreover, perhaps, in fact, really, like this. These are transitional words you can use and make your passage, small passage, that is the summary passage, an order, some sequence is maintained using the transitional words. And then you have to reread the summary and find the style, the grammar you have used, whether that is correct or not, and your punctuation marks are to be given importance. polish the summary, you polish it and include any idea, important idea that you have left while summarizing the passage. Give a title of the summary, and after giving the title, you check whether you have covered everything, important items, important points, you have not left any point, and at last go for the final writing. There you are writing the final summary of the entire piece. This is how you go for summary writing. Now, there are certain points to remember while you do a summary. I will be coming to that, but before that, I will give you another passage, the second passage. Yes. Now, this is about a problem, about some facts we are presenting. It is not about the story. It is about some facts. Books exercise a great influence upon the mind of the readers. This influence may be good or bad. This depends upon the types of books. There are good books and bad books. Good books contain the thoughts and ideas of great men, great thinkers of all ages and all countries. If you read these books, they ennoble our minds. They will increase our knowledge in different branches of learning. On the other hand, bad books will degrade our minds. They will lead us astray. They will thus do great harm to us. Second part. Hence arises the need for choice of books for our study. There are good books of great authors of the past. They have become classic. It means they are books of standard excellence. They have a permanent value. There are also good books of great living authors. They have also lasting value. We should choose such books. Bad books may sometimes be popular for the time being. They have no lasting value. They will be forgotten sooner or later. We should shun these books like poison. Now, I have told you, children, this is about some facts. Now, the facts, it is about books. What is the central idea? The writer is talking about books. So you go in the like manner as you have done in the first summary writing about Florence Nightingale. And you are going for books. Now, this is another type of summary writing. You are writing about facts. So, now you are to write in present tense form. You have to use present tense. You cannot write in past tense. All the sentences written here in the original passage are in present tense. So you have to present your summary in present tense. Now, we'll come to the beginning again. Yes. Now you see, children, books exercise a great influence upon the mind of the readers. Now, this influence may be good or bad. This depends upon the types of books. You see, 3 sentences. I am just making it precise, making it short. The influence of books upon the minds may be good or bad. You see, books exercise a great influence upon the mind of the readers. This influence may be good or bad. This depends upon the types of books. Now, looking at these 3 sentences, I try to condense, I try to make it short and made it like this. The influence of books upon the minds may be good or bad. They depend upon types of books. Now, that sentence I just collected. I thought that will be a linking sentence, so that should be there. And then, if we read the good books of great men, you see, good books contain the thoughts and ideas of great men, great thinkers of all ages and of all countries. If you read these books, they ennoble our minds. They will increase our knowledge in different branches of learning. Now for that, if you read good books of great men, they ennoble our minds. And you see what I have done. I have chosen 3 sentences. Out of those 3 sentences, I have made it a shorter sentence. If we read the good books of great men, they ennoble our minds. And then, if you read these books, they ennoble our minds. They will increase our knowledge in different branches of learning. On the other hand, bad books will degrade our minds. They will lead us astray. They will do great harms to us. So immediately, after telling about good books, I am talking about bad books. Now, bad books degrade our mind. Simple sentence. The bad books degrade our mind, and so we should choose good books of the past and then come to the next. Hence arises the need for choice of books for our study. There are good books of great authors of the past. They become classics. And for that, I wrote, so we should choose good books of past and present authors. Now they have become classics. It means they are books of standard excellence. They have a permanent value. There are also good books of great living authors. They have also lasting value. We should choose such books. And for that, bad books may be popular for the time being. That is also given there. Bad books may sometimes be popular for the time being. That linking sentence should be there. And then, for other 2 sentences, they have no lasting value. They will be forgotten sooner or later. We should shun these books like poison. So, bad books may be popular for the time being, but we should shun these books like poison. So, I presented it within 60 words. I used simple sentence, and I collected some important items, important informations. How to do that? You have to make notes. For every summary writing, you have to find out the facts in phrases, in words. You have to make notes. After making notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, when you are coming down to sentences, you have to see the notes, the points, and to make them sentences. You can do that. So, children, I gave you 2 examples of summary writing. One for the story writing, one for the story. When you read a story, you read a life sketch. It is about somebody's life. You write the summary, important aspects of his life. You write in simple sentence. You write in shorter form, in simple past tense. And when you are writing about facts, you are presenting it in simple present tense. That is how you deal with summary. Now, children, I will be giving you some points to remember how to go for summary writing. That will be on the screen. You can note down. If you have the pen and paper with you, you can note down those things, how to go for summary writing. Points to remember. Now, number 1, read the text carefully. Number 2, guess the meaning while reading. You can read the passage once, twice, thrice, 4 times. If you have not understood it clearly, there is no such limitation that you have to read only for second time, not for the third time. No, that is not the matter. Keeping in view of the time you are getting, you are to be very quick in your judgment, your understanding, your observation. So, children, these are the points to remember. Read the text carefully. guess the meaning while reading, go for the second reading and locate the main points, gather information, make notes at this stage. While getting information, you are to make notes in phrase form, in word form, or in short sentences. Long sentences are to be made shorter, and omit adjectives, quotations if they are in that original passage. Repetitions are to be avoided. Figures of speech are to be avoided. You are to avoid the statistics, the percentage. If it is given in the original passage, you are to avoid it, and you are to change the direct speech into indirect speech. That you are to do. Come for the next few points. Unnecessary details are to be avoided. Sometimes the writer gives a color. He designs in a beautiful manner. He gives unnecessary details, but for the ornamentation of the language. But you are to avoid them. Use simple sentence. You can choose the passage, whether you are to write in simple present tense or simple past tense, as I have told you. Use some transition words like however, really. All these words I have told you, they are like linking words, and they link the sequence. Now, you have to polish the summary. You have to give a title to your summary. That is very important. What is the writing about? Then you get the title. If you ask a question to yourself, what is the writing about? What is the passage about? You get the answer. The answer may come in one word or a group of words. It's better to give the title with a group of words, and thus your summary writing is complete. So, children, I have given you some ways and clues so that you can follow those clues and ways, and you can write better summary of the passage. Now, children, there is another item today. After you have heard from me about summary writing, you are to hear about report writing. Now, you are to know what a report writing is. Now, children, you are to see that a report is a kind of information, and the information is about a situation, and it may be about some event, it may be about some experiment, it may be about some problem. Now, a report is to be made on these facts. Now, sometimes you seek the report about a meeting, about a trip, about experiment, about investigation, about survey. But children, in your stage, you are asked to write a report about a celebration, about an event, or at best, you are to write a report to the newspaper. There is the limitation for you. You are not going to write a survey report, a test report of the laboratory. No, you are not going to do that. You are writing a report about a celebration, about a particular event. So to prepare a report, you are to know certain things. You must be clear about its objectives. What are the objectives of making a particular report? You must collect informations properly. You must collect available sources of information. If your information is not adequate, you cannot write the report well. So, minute collection of information is necessary for writing a report. Now, therefore, you are to observe things, direct observation of things, events, meetings, and talking with people. You can interview people and you can put it in your report. And you can read you can just listen to the people and you can read if there is some writing aspects in that particular event, some kind of writing was served and it was given, it was distributed. You can also give importance on that writing also. And therefore, a good report should be factually, the facts should be accurate and it must be balanced. You must put things in proper order. Now, you have to know who is going to read the report, who is your reader. That is most important. You are writing the report and you must be conscious about your reader. And your report should include the time factor, and your report should include the place factor, the manner in which a particular event took place, a particular celebration was held, and how many people were involved in that particular event, and what was the reason behind such involvement. And you are to give a conclusion to your report. Now, in summary writing, as I told you, you are to omit the statistics. But in report writing, you are to include statistics. You are to include percentage. How many percentage of people were present over there? What was the number of people? So, you are to put the statistics in your report. So, a report, a celebration, suppose you are presenting a report on celebration, then you are putting it in past tense. You cannot put it in present tense. Now, a celebration report or an event report is to be presented in past tense. And children, there are some guided reports writing. When you think of the newspaper writing, suppose in a distant place, a reporter sends some information to the editor of the newspaper. Now you see, how does the editor write the report? Now a newspaper reporter sends a report of an incident on a particular date. Over telephone, he gave the report, and the editor of the newspaper office, he just received the telephone call, telephone message, and took the following notes. He took the following notes and then he wrote the report for the newspaper. Now, the person who sent the report, he told, 5 pickpockets caught red-handed in North Calcutta, place given, Wednesday. Robbing passengers on a private bus. 45 wallets and jewelry recovered. Police arrested them. Just telephonic report. He sent a telephonic message to the editor of the newspaper. And the editor of the newspaper wrote a report. Now, children, you can have a report like this and send it to the editor of the newspaper. You can also get some information through telephonic message, or you observed it from a particular event, you observed it, from a particular celebration, you observed it, and then sent the report to the newspaper editor or the editor of the newspaper. Now, in both the cases, you are guided by certain informations. It is a kind of guided report. You got some information, you observed, you collected some information, and from those information you wrote the report. So, report writing is a very interesting piece of writing, and there you are to use your style of making sentences. You can write in simple sentence, you can write in complex sentence, multiple sentence, you can write how beautifully you can present it in a sentence. And for that you are in need of words, in need of phrases, in need of some kind of ornamental words. You can also use, you can write the report in that way. Now, there are various kinds of report as given in the book. Now, you can have a look at your book, and you can find a kind of report writing that one passage, one particular question is given to you. Now you can have several types of questions. Now you can have school reports. In school report, naturally you have to write the event report or celebration report. Now, suppose you are to write about the NCC camp, then you are to give the time, the place, and how it was held, how many people were involved in that particular, how many children were involved, and how that particular camp was held. You are to give a report on that. Now, subjects will vary. Inter-school science quiz contest, or you can have farewell party, you can make a report. You can make a report on annual sports day celebration. You can have a report on literacy camp. Literacy camp, you had one. You can have a report on Bono Mahotsava function in your school, or you can have a report from outside. Odisha Book Fair 2017. You can have a report from that. That was held in your school, so you just reported it. One day cricket match you had between two schools, inter-school cricket tournament, that was held. You could make a report. You could make a report on how to control the pollution. You can have a report on quiz contest, on Republic Day celebration, on Teachers' Day celebration. You can have a report. You can have a report on new computer wing that was inaugurated in your school. You can have a report on the health camp organized by the Social Service Guild, by an organization. You can have a report on that in your school. No tobacco day celebration, no tobacco. Nobody should take tobacco. Now that also you can make a report. You had some program of your science society, and you could make a report on that. Now children, you can have a report on the Independence Day or on any other national days. Or you can have a report on eco club activities, scout activities. All these activities you can have a report. These are called school reports. And in school reports, what is the format? Now, format is you are putting the place and date. That is there. In the left side, you are putting place and date. And then you are giving a title to your reporting. Giving a title to your reporting. And then in one paragraph, you are to write the report. In school report, you have to write in one paragraph. That will be better. That is needed. Now, in the first sentence of the paragraph, that will be a kind of intro, the introductory sentence. That will tell enough about what you are going to write. And at the end of that paragraph, after writing the report, you can write your name, and if you are the secretary presenting a report, you can write Secretary Cultural Club, like that. You are giving your identity. So that is how you presented a report before the school authority. You need not write that I am presenting this report to you. All that is just the report you present, because you are asked to present that report. And there is another kind of report writing that is called newspaper report writing. Now, imagine you are a reporter of a daily newspaper. Prepare a report in about 60 words on the unusual rising of temperature in the state in the month of May and June. Now you have to make a report on this. So you are writing to the editor, the Samaj or the Times of India, whatever you can. You are writing it to the English newspaper because you are writing in English. You will write to the English newspaper editor. And then after writing to the editor, the Statesman or the Times of India, Bhubaneswar, then you give the title. Give the title, Mercury crosses 45 degrees in 10 places in the state. The title you give, and then you write about the heat wave and all that in one paragraph. Collect all information and give accurate and balanced facts in your report writing. At the end, you can write, if you are a reporter, and you can write your name at the end, and from where you are sending the report, the place and date you are to give. Again, that is called newspaper report. And in a newspaper report, you can make several paragraphs. There is no such limitation that you should write in one paragraph. You can make 2-3 paragraphs in newspaper report. Now, this is about the social events you can write to the newspaper. You can write to the newspaper on some accidents also you can write, and you can write on various facts about the train accident, about flood-like situation in some place. You can write all this. And you can have social reports also you can present. Now, when you are presenting a social report, you are making that format. First of all, you have to write the place and then date and then title and then your paragraph, and after that your name, and you give your identity. And if you are writing from any club, you write about your club, like that. That is a social report you are presenting. So school report, newspaper report, social report, all these reports are to be made in a nice manner, and these are the clues I have told you how to go for writing a report. And for your understanding, I will present you some points to remember while you write a report. That is there on this whiteboard. It is there. You can see the writing, and you can take down, if you have a pen and paper, you can take down and you can follow those rules, those ways, and you can write a beautiful report. Now, look at the writing. A report is a presentation of facts. A report gives true account of something seen, heard, or done. A report records facts and findings. A report is a presentation of an event or incident. A report should be precise, convincing, and interesting. It should be clear and accurate. The common reports are school reports, news reports, social reports. It includes only relevant facts, not exaggeration, unnecessary things. A suitable heading, date, and place, these are to be maintained in your report. So in a way you can tell that in your report writing you are very particular about where, when, and how things were done. And it should not contain any personal opinion or impression. You cannot put any personal opinion or impression. And then, written in past tense, when you are presenting about an event, you can write in past tense. You can write in present tense. This is present tense, or in passive voice. Most of the reports I have told you, they are to be written in past tense when you are writing the reports about some events. And if you are writing a fact which is taking place now, that you can write in present tense. And most of your writing should be made in passive. That will be nice. So, children, I have given you some clues how to write, how to go for summary writing, and how to go for report writing. And I have told you about the format of summary writing and report writing, how to write, what is the style of writing such a summary or a report. Now, if you have any doubt, you could ask me question at this end, or else I will just revise it and tell it about how you can have the report writing or summary writing again. Now, children, any school? Okay. Now, children, you have to remember that a summary is a restatement of someone's words in your own words. In your own words, you are presenting a summary. And in your own words, you are presenting a report. But what is the difference between summary writing and report writing? In summary writing, you got a passage. You read it and you made it short, a shorter expression. But in a report writing, it is an account. You are putting everything out of facts, out of some events, out of detailed study of the problem and its effect and causes. And therefore, report writing is different from summary writing. A report is an exact representation of facts. No change. The truth is maintained. And you must have the eye-catching headline. That is very important in report writing. And you have the brief expression of the headline. Immediately after it, in the introduction, you give an expression in a manner so that the reader who reads the first sentence of the report, he will understand about the entire topic, entire report. He will understand. He will just guess what is it about. And then, therefore, the opening line should be very interesting, and it should contain the place, the date, and the manner, sometimes the consequence. And therefore, your report should answer all WH questions: what, where, when, and why, and include accounts of celebration to emphasize the reality of your article. Accounts of celebration, the manners of celebration. Don't miss out the main theme about the observation. So this is how you write a good report. And when you write the summary, as I have told you, you have to be very important to guess the meaning from the difficult words. In report writing, you are putting everything from your memory, from the facts, collected facts. But in summary writing, you are encountering, you are coming across difficult words which baffle you, confuse you, and it incites you to go back to the dictionary. No. In no case you should look up the word in the dictionary. Rather, try to guess the meaning from the context and try to know the meaning. That is your effort after the first reading. And after the second reading, you go for, or after the third reading, until you have understood the passage well, you have to make a note-making. Note-making in phrases, in words, in sentences. And then you are to put them in order. Maintain a sequence in note-making also, so that when you write the summary of the piece, you will be maintaining the sequence, the order. Your summary will be correct, and you are to know whether you are using simple present tense or simple past tense. You have to be conscious, because writing is a skill, and when you write something, you have to be conscious, especially when you are writing English language. You have to be conscious about the tense form. That is very important, because in a summary writing, you find certain tense form is maintained in the original passage. And when you write the summary, you maintain the same tense form. That is to be done. And if the summary is about a story, you have to write your, if the passage is about a story, you have to write the summary in past tense, simple past tense. And if the passage is about some facts, about some information, about some problems of the society, you can write it in simple present tense. That you have to remember. So, summary writing and report writing are two skills. A potter learns a skill to make a pot. He knows the skill. For writing is a skill. You know, in a language learning, we have listening, speaking, reading and writing. And writing is a skill, and when you write something, you have to be particular about how to frame a sentence. Today this much, children, and we'll part at this stage and we'll meet again for further study. Thank you very much.